Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say thank you. First off, I'd like to thank you guys for coming here, willing to come here and kind of just talk over your problems, and hopefully by the end of this, we can come to a resolution. My name is Mr. Amini, and yeah, hopefully we can resolve your guys' issue by the end of this meeting. I am hoping that you are both willing to communicate, and please keep your cell phones off and away at all times. If you guys ever need to use the restroom, please just let me know. It is down the hallway to the right. And please keep your language fairly reasonable. Don't get violent, no anger towards one another. I would appreciate that. And yes, so if you could please tell me a little about yourself and you as well, and then kind of give me a rundown on what your issues were, and I'd like to hear both sides of the story, and do not interrupt one another until I allow the other to speak. Understand?
Can we take a break, like, after 20 minutes, or I gotta take my medication?
Sure. What type of medications do you have to be taking?
For my heart
Mr. Wilson?
condition.
Sure, yes. I will give
Okay.
you a
Can I go first, please? Because I
short
have
recess. Yes.
a lot that I need to say.
Yes. You may start.
I can go. Okay. Because I'm just going to tell you that I've lived here for 2 years now, and this man, Mr. Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
has not made it easy for me at all. Because within these 2 years, I was pregnant when I moved into this house, and now I have an almost 2-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I've had to have people come and rent rooms because I am a single mom and I can't afford a house like this on my own. But I am not planning on moving anytime soon because this is in a good neighborhood for my son and there's good school down the street in walking distance because I don't have a car right now. And I need to continue living here. But if I could, I would not, just because of Mr. Wilson has caused numerous problems in my life and my son's life. And I mean, I guess part of it is relating to this fence, but it's been going on for a long time, just because I am trying to raise my son, and he's over here making all this ruckus with the fence, and I did not think that it would be this way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that this was a nice old man who was just looking to help us out with the fence, and we agreed that we would have him build it. He said he would do it for free. I don't have a lot of money, so I'm totally fine with. He wanted to do it for free. I thought there was going to be a fence right away because my son is already walking around, running around, and crawling around all on the ground in our backyard. And the fence would have been nice.
Mm-hmm.
It just would have been nice for our house to have a fence again because there was.
How many months ago did you begin building this fence?
We agreed, I want to say 6 months ago, we agreed that there was going to be a fence. And my son was crawling around in the backyard. And I said he's going to be running around soon. And I think the fence would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, I had no idea. We just verbally agreed that.
And what were the original terms of your agreement?
We said that there would be 2 weeks, tops. 2 weeks.
So you guys had
maximum.
an agreement on the time frame, correct?
Yes. I said that I would like for it to be done within 2 weeks because
And did Mr. Wilson agree to that?
he maybe didn't hear me, but he should have heard me that I said 2 weeks because I started having a new renter and now I already have another one coming in. One of my renters is now leaving because of the ruckus that he has caused all the time, because he has turned a simple making a fence, he has turned it into a whole project that he thinks he needs to do. And it is not a project for him. This is something that I need done. And he is not listening to me. He's coming at me crazy now. He all of a sudden started acting crazy. I just needed a fence.
And you said your son is how old now?
He is almost 2.
So he's no longer crawling, huh?
No. So now he is not crawling anymore, and he's walking. And in the process of this whole fence thing, Mr. Wilson is horrible at it. This is not some little project for him to just have and sit around and all the time be creeping by sitting in the middle of both of our lawns. He's not even building. He only has a few pieces put up, and there's nails everywhere. He's slamming on his hammer, and it's not even making any progress. So much that the window of my house, the one that I'm renting a room, that person is now moving out because of this. And I have another renter moving in, and I want the fence to be done with. I want the fence to be done with as soon as possible, because originally it was 2 weeks, and now it's thrown out all my timing. It's caused my renter to move away. My son cannot be in the backyard now. Cannot be in the backyard. It is summertime, and my son cannot be in the backyard because there are nails everywhere. And that I'm going to file not only a restraining order, but a lawsuit on you if anything happens to my son. If he steps on a nail or anything, this is not acceptable, and this is not the kind of neighborhood that I thought I was moving into.
Let's relax. Let's keep it calm. You know, obviously, construction zones aren't the most ideal place for a child, but
no, not at all.
You guys did know what you guys were getting yourselves into.
I did not. I agreed on 2 weeks of this, and now the noise and the dangers all around it.
Okay.
And now he has come at me crazy because I see him like all creeping around, just standing there looking around, not even building the fence. And it's very close to the windows.
What do you mean creeping
around? I think he's being perverted. That's why that girl who was renting the room, she's a college student, and she felt uncomfortable that his fence that he was building for 6 months now, was not getting anywhere, and that he was just using it as an excuse to look through her window. And she felt that uncomfortable, along with the noise that was going on and everything going on. It's just unacceptable. It's just perverted. And we're having to file a restraining order, because there is no way that I'm going to have this kind of man around my child.
Okay, relax. So,
and I'm losing money now with the renters.
Have you filed a restraining order, or is this just something that you have thought about?
I have thought about it because it's horrible. And the only reason why I haven't yet is because I'm still talking with my current renter, but she's moving out. But I want to push her to get that restraining order and help me in court as a witness that there should be a restraining order on him. But I'm working with her now.
And so, how much money have you lost in rent?
In rent, so she was paying $1,000 a month for that room. And she thought that it was not worth all of that because of everything that was going on with Mr. Wilson and the fence business and the constant stuff from him that has just been going on the past 6 months. She's been there for a year. And there was no problems between me or Mr. Wilson previously. There was no problems with her and Mr. Wilson. But so now she's deciding to move out next month. And I found someone else to move in. And I would like the fence to be done because I don't want the next person to have the same thoughts, because then I will be losing $1,000 a month. This is like the only...
But you haven't lost anything as of now. So that's not an issue.
Well, it depends on if this new renter is going to see that there's a man standing outside building a fence with nails and splintered wood everywhere, if they may not even rent. I need the fence to be done before this person moves in. Otherwise, I will lose $1,000 a month.
All right.
And is he going to pay that? Are you going to pay me $1,000 a month?
You do not speak with one another. I am here as a mediator. You only speak to me. Okay? Now, Mr. Wilson, can you give me your account of the history between the two of you and where you guys are at this point?
I have been living in my house after my wife had died for 60 years. And I think Miss Peters doesn't understand, as she is a young lady, that it
60 years.
I'm just so mad right now because, I am trying my best to do the work. I'm an old man. She is asking, yes, we agreed 2 weeks to finish the fence.
So you say you did agree to the 2 weeks?
Yes, we agreed 2 weeks. And I wanted this fence to be good, to be strong, and I also consider it as part of my project, and I have got other stuff to do as well. I volunteer at a church, so not all my time is around the fence, and Miss Peters knows that too. And I know she has a young son, and she wants the fence to be built as quick as possible, but I am old and I need some time to sometimes relax, sometimes to take a break.
It's difficult for you.
It's difficult, and I have a heart condition as well. So sometimes I need to go visit the hospital for a day,
And you said
he's acting like he's some sweet old man,
well,
but he's perverted, and he's doing this on purpose. He came at me crazy yelling.
Miss Peters, it's not your turn, please.
Why don't you ask him?
Mr. Wilson, please continue. So, what type of medications did you say that you take? Does it cause you to forget things? Or, does it have any side effects of that sort?
So my medication makes me more calm and relaxing. Sometimes, when I was younger, I definitely, I get mad easily, but...
So you have a tantrum. You have a temper, huh?
A little bit, but my wife and my wife helped me so much, and I love her so much. And after she had died, I just been depressed, and
I'm so sorry for your loss. But you're telling me that the medications they don't affect your memory of any sort?
No. They just make me a little more sleepy and more relaxed.
Okay, all right. So then, your medications cause you to not be able to dedicate your time completely to building the fence.
And also financially wise, it's a lot of money,
Yes.
I do have insurance, but
you're retired.
I'm retired, and I need money for my food.
What about this creeping that she's talking about?
Which is so not true, young lady.
Not true.
That is not true.
It is true. We're about to file a restraining order on you because it is true.
Please.
I think she's being extra sensitive.
Extra sensitive.
I know she's a mom, and I am 60-something years old. Old man, I love my wife. My wife passed away 5 years ago, and she's still in my head. I would never, ever do something like that. It's not me. I'm a Christian man. I don't do things like that.
Yes. Okay. Well, so you're telling me you agreed to 2 weeks, right? And your medications cause you to fall asleep every so often. And you do agree that you occasionally have a temper.
Yes.
When you don't take your medication.
Unless it's, I'm fine unless someone triggers it.
And, okay, all right. Well, is there anything else you feel you want to get off your chest and onto the table?
I'm just saying, I don't understand how some people cannot understand. Is it because of the generation? Is it the generation gap that nowadays some people just want to rush things, But where's the heart? Where's the passion here?
Yeah.
If passion means leaving your nails around everywhere for my 2-year-old son to step on, then that is unacceptable. I am not okay. I, before, had a 2-week agreement just because I was setting a date just to have something to agree on. But now it's been 6 months of disaster,
And so-
all on both of our lawns. And I would have been fine if it wasn't a disaster, but the peeping and the reasons why my roommate is now leaving has caused into all these other issues.
Mm-hmm.
The fence itself, I didn't like. I need the fence, yes, but
Mhm.
now
And so you said you've hired someone to essentially finish this fence.
yes, because I want it cleaned up. I want it to be able to be done with. I don't care who does it anymore. I don't want him doing it anymore because he's messy and peeping. So yes, he's no longer going to be working on the fence. I hired a contractor to do it
Mhm.
at a fair price, and he's my friend, and he understood the situation and said he felt bad for me that my neighbor was being so horrible. And so he has come several times
Mm-hmm.
to not only clean up Mr. Wilson's mess, but put in a newer fence with newer wood, and it looks better. And every time he works on it for a day, Mr. Wilson comes in the middle of the night and it destroys it. Just straight up destroys it and makes even more of a mess. And it's crazy. He is crazy. There's no way that he's taking the right medication because he is seriously crazy.
Okay. And what do you have to say about that? Did you actually take down the fence as she claims?
Because this fence is between my house and your house.
Mhm.
I gotta make sure that it is set at the right place, and
You lost all privileges to ever step foot in between the
Right.
houses now
but
because
you
Just
not
Peter-
destroy the fence that I make to put up your new fence.
It's
I
very-
put money into
yes.
that.
And so, but you do admit that you have taken the fence down.
Right, because they took off my fence, the ones
Mhm.
that I worked on, in order to build their fence.
Okay.
Because originally, we agreed that I will personally pay for the fence, and I will actually help out to build the fence. Because I understand she is a single mother,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't have that much money. So I'm actually willing to pull money out of my pocket to do this good deed.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, you're willing to pull out of your pocket to creep on my renter.
Let's not talk about the creeping. Let's just stick to the main issue. Because we don't know if this creeping is true or not. He seems like a
It's
reasonable
not
old
just.
man.
It's not just. My
Have you
renter.
seen him actually creep, or is this just something that you
No,
think is
I have
happening?
not actually seen
You
it
have
with
not
my own
seen
two
it.
eyes, but
So,
the renter said, but I haven't seen. But I believe the renter over
So
this
you
man.
believe it.
Yes.
I lived in my house for 60 years. No other neighbors have reported saying I'm a creeper. Creeping on their windows.
Mhm.
How can you be sure that your renter is not lying?
Yeah. And so you said you wanted to file a restraining order
Yes.
because of the fact that you just think that he may be creeping. But you
Well, I
have no
can't take that
proof.
risk. I have a son and I have a child
Yes.
around, and I am a single mother, and I can't take that risk that I have a pervert living next to me.
You do believe that. I can see where you're coming from, but at the same time, you have to see where he's coming from. And these accusations may not be true. We have no proof. It's just you're going off of somebody's word, you know? And how do you feel about a restraining order?
That will destroy the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I only got a few years to live, and what I'm doing right now is to go to church and read to these children, because that's what I love. I love to be surrounded with children and spread the love of Jesus. And I can't do that anymore because of Miss Peters. And she's gonna put that to me, and I'm gonna be more depressed.
Okay. So I can see where you guys are both coming from. And so you said you hired your friend to come finish the fence. Did you ever let Mr. Wilson know that you were going to be having someone else come?
No, because I didn't feel the need to, because he already was coming at me crazy after that. And, well, no, he didn't come at me crazy until he found out that I had replaced him with someone else. But before that, he just was leaving all his things everywhere.
So you never let him know, you didn't leave him any notes, nothing of that sort?
Well, I texted him to say, please clean up the nails and everything that I have my son. And I texted him several times at the beginning when it was going on. This has been 6 months. So the very first 3 weeks that it was going on, I thought, okay, it's going to go by faster. And like 2 weeks are gone, but maybe he just needs one more week because he's old and taking forever. But the mess was horrible, and I texted him about it. No reply. And I took that as so offensive that someone is just going to just ignore and my attempt to go ahead and reach out to him and tell him that he needs to clean that up. And he not only did he not reply to me, he also continued to leave all his stuff out there. So I know that he purposefully read it and just is leaving that on purpose. Like it's an attack on me and my son and my house.
Okay. Now, did you ever get these text messages?
I have not. I only call people.
No, that is not true. Right now, I can pull up. I don't
use the iPhones
right now.
People use these days.
So
right here, this is the exact.
Let me see this. Now, so you're telling me that you're not tech savvy, are you?
No, I just use this phone, and sometimes my grandson tells me how to use it, and I still don't know how to use it.
Well, I texted right there. You can see. I said those exact words.
Okay.
I said those exact words that.
Okay.
Right there is where I said that pick up the nails. I said please right there. Also, the first text you can see I was courteous, and I said, please pick up the nails. And then he didn't reply.
So I can see it was a few months of repeated text messages with no replies.
Yes, exactly. No replies. Okay, and I know that he's attacking me on purpose.
Something gives me the feeling that Mr. Wilson does not know how to use his phone properly, or at least text messages, because, he's a little bit on the older side. Can I see your phone, please? Would you allow me to see your phone?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, so, well, you see, there is 48 unread messages here. So I don't think Mr. Wilson. I don't think Mr. Wilson was ignoring you. That's
not my fault. That's his own fault.
I can see where this is coming from, but at the same time, do you understand that he's an old man and maybe he just didn't see the text messages and he wasn't actually ignoring you, and maybe his medication just makes him sleepy and he sleeps a lot because of that, Think of your own father, or maybe, So you say your grandson does the responding for you, huh?
Well, he lives in Texas, and he haven't visited me for a while. He goes to college, and I'm really proud of him. But, he haven't visited me for a while, so I don't know about text messages.
So you just don't know how?
No, and you never called me.
Okay. Well, at the same time, you can see where she's coming from. She has a son. There's a lot of debris in the yard, like maybe there's a lot of danger for the child, and then the renters are thinking they're going to have a private room, and maybe there's the fence is not done. If they feel like maybe they don't have the privacy they're paying for, Do you see where maybe she's coming from to a certain extent?
I understand, but it's a big project. It's a large fence. I can't clean up everything on my own, after a long day of, being at the church, then working on the fence. I can't just clean everything up.
Well, it's your
And-
responsibility. It's on my side of the lawn as well.
I'm
And there's no
building this
fence there
Okay.
yet.
Miss Wilson.
I'm building this fence for the
Beautiful.
both of our houses, especially for you. That you have a young child, you really desperately need this fence, and I'm trying my best to do. And if you know that this fence has not been completed yet, you should be more careful of your child. Maybe you should not let him to go out yet.
No, it's summertime, and my son wants to go outside.
Take him to a park. You know?
Well, you can't tell her what to do with her child on her own property. She does own her half of the lawn, and you did agree to 3 weeks,
2 weeks.
2 weeks of this fence being finished, and it's been 6 months. On the other half, you do see where he's coming from. He's old, his medications get to him, and maybe you do fall asleep, but then maybe it's not a bad idea to have someone else finish the fence, you know?
It's just this.
Well, I need him to pay. I need him to pay what I already have been starting to pay my friend to fix the fence, and I think that he needs to help pay for it because I'm not going to pay for it on my own, and I'm not going to pay for this fence on my own.
All right. Well,
and clean up after his mess.
What resolution do you see? What do you see the outcome? How can you leave
He
here
needs
today
to pay for
with
the
a proper
damages that
resolution?
he keeps. My friend now had to come for weeks to try to rebuild this fence because Mr. Wilson has many times come and knocked down the fence that he is trying to build. So I'm having to pay more and more and more each time that Mr. Wilson does that.
Okay. And so you have knocked the fence down.
Yes, I have, because that
how
was
do you
my
justify
project,
that?
and I paid for a good deal for the fence.
But you do see that there's a cost. Every time you knock the fence down, there's a cost to redo it, you know?
That's not
And
my
so-
problem because she wants to hire the guy. Why do
Yes.
I have to pay for him?
Well, that's the resolution I hope we can come to today. What do you think? How do you think you can resolve this? What would make you happy leaving today? Or do you see anything? Do you see a resolution?
No, I don't see one, honestly, because if he's not willing to pay for this fence,
Mhm.
and I don't want him to keep building whatsoever, and he just keeps building. He keeps knocking down the one that I'm building, and he's building his own, and it's still causing a mess everywhere. And I just don't see any resolution because there's no way, because he keeps being in the lawn. He's in between our lawns nonstop, and
Okay,
he
but
won't go
you see,
away until a
at
restraining
least
order
You
is put
at
in
least
place.
see where he's coming from, that his medications get to him, and maybe it's just not so easy for him.
And 2 weeks is, we had a word agreement. It wasn't like a paper agreement. And I thought that I could do it. But, it is just not that easy. And
I just don't understand why you even are still doing it. I don't understand, besides the only reason I could think of is that you're creeping on my roommate.
I'm building a fence between the both of our houses.
Why?
I gotta be.
Why now? Why are you still doing it? Why don't you
Listen,
let my
one at
friend
a
take
time.
over?
One at a time. You two. Mr. Wilson. How do you justify this fence not being finished?
I guess I really didn't thought it was that necessary.
Do you see the construction zone as any sort of hazard, at least, to her child? Do you see that being? Imagine if it was your grandchildren trying to run around in the lawn area, and there's nails and debris and wood that can give them splinters. Can you at least see where she's coming from?
I mean, I understand that, but I can also see that an old person just trying to build the fence on their own, and I will at least have some understanding towards that.
So,
Okay, but then I don't need you on the lawn anymore. I don't want you to keep doing it, and you keep building it, and I don't want you there. I don't want you creeping on my roommate, and I don't want your nails everywhere. And I think that you not only should stop building, but you also need to pay me for the repair that I'm now having to do.
So you don't want me to do it while I'm still trying to build this fence, but you're also
Listen,
making me to pay for it. That
but-
is just not fair.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilson, you see, Miss Peters and you had agreed to 2 weeks. It's been 6 months. And it's not finished. So at least, can you guys come to a resolution that somebody has to finish this fence? Whether you or her friend or maybe someone else that I dedicate to do this, someone needs to finish this fence and it needs to get done because obviously it's a hazard to her child and obviously it's a hazard to your health because you clearly, your medications get to you and you can't be out doing construction work, building fences and whatnot, you know? Can you see where I'm coming from? Can you see where she's coming from? And can you see where he's coming from?
I mean, the only thing that I, bottom line, will ask from you then is that you, obviously, this is just not going to get resolved today. And I understand that, and that's fine.
But you see, we're here to come to a resolution, whether it's personal or at least, you know, over the
Okay, but
actual conflict at hand. Like, I want you guys to leave here, at least, if anything, even if you can't come up with an agreement on how to resolve this fence issue, I want you two to be able to mend your personal relationship.
Okay, but
If you could do that. Because
I
at the
just
end of
need
the
him
day,
to understand.
at the end of the day, he's an old man. It's difficult for him, and you're a single mother. It's difficult for you. You guys are both at a difficult situation, you know. And regardless, this fence does need to get finished.
Okay, so for now, I need him to agree that he will no longer be working on it. Because if he does, then I will agree not to file the restraining order. If you no longer are working on this fence and you agree
So
to stop, there will be no
you-
nails and no restraining order.
What you want to do is cancel the original agreement.
Yes, I think that I will get an estimate from my friend and I can...
You're gonna pay for it all on your own?
No. But we can discuss this at a later date because I do have to go back but I can't, I
Okay.
can't confirm with my friend to build the fence if Mr. Wilson keeps...
But you
breaking
said
it
you
down.
want to cancel the original agreement. That it would be done in 2 weeks. Holding him accountable.
Yes, he still is going to be accountable for other
Yes.
things in a later date, but for now...
Would you like some sort of payment? Something?
And I can't do it yet.
You don't even know.
I can't do it yet because if he keeps tearing down the fence, then my friend is going to stop doing it. So for
Okay.
now, I need him to agree to stop being on my lawn,
Alright.
stop putting the nails everywhere, and to stop tearing down the fence. If he agrees to that, then later I can go ahead and confirm with my friend, and I'll be willing to come up with a price with you, and we can discuss that at a later time.
How do you see this being resolved?
I mean, I don't want to see her getting frustrated or, yelling at me over the fence. I definitely cannot complete this by the next
can't.
week.
No.
I can't. I admit that. So,
You're willing to cancel the original agreement as well?
yeah.
Or you're not sure?
I can't deal with this any longer, so I want to cancel.
You want to cancel.
Yes.
Okay.
And do you
And
agree
so,
to...
do you agree to give her some sort of payment? At least something?
Yeah, I guess I feel bad for delaying this for a long time.
It's going to be your and my fence. It's just not my responsibility to pay for. But the main concern that I have is that I need you to stay off of our in-between property.
So,
I cannot have you
You
with
do
my
not
child.
want him working on it.
No, not at all, because otherwise I will file a restraining order. If you don't stay away, and I know that'll ruin everything you've got going on, so if you agree to me right now that you will stay away from the
Well,
fence, then I will not file the restraining order, because that's a lot of effort for me to file this restraining order and to work with my roommate on doing that I don't have time for. And if you don't want a restraining order either, then I need you to agree.
Can you at least can we come to some sort of resolution today? I want you to at least agree to something. Can you do that?
Yes, I will stop what I'm doing and just let her take over. But I will pay partial for the fence.
You're willing to pay partial,
Yes.
and you want full or partial payment.
I want partial payment, but I will send you the bill, and we can discuss this when he sees how much damage there
Okay.
there
Well,
still
I
is.
think
But
I don't see us really coming to a resolution today. So I think we're gonna have to either come back to this at a later date when we have more information on
I'm willing to
what
come
amount
back
of money,
if he
what
is.
kind of money is involved. Do you even know how much you're gonna owe to him? You don't know.
I don't know at the time because I first have to have him confirm that he's going to stop tearing it down. Because otherwise it's going to keep wrapping
Okay,
up.
well, I honestly think the only way we can leave here with anything is to just terminate today's, mediation and hopefully come back to this at a later date. But I want you guys to at least be leaving understanding each other, I don't want you guys to have that type of animosity. Do you feel that maybe you understand her side of the story a little better?
Yes, of course.
And do you feel that maybe you understand where he's coming from and his situation?
Yeah, I think that I didn't realize that he wasn't getting my text. So
Yeah, well, I would hope that maybe you guys can work on your communication skills and maybe we'll visit this at a later date and hopefully come up with some proper numbers and maybe resolve it, But for the time being, I need you two to sign here stating that you just can't really come to an agreement, and so we're going to have to visit this at a later date. Okay, well, I hope that you two can at least resolve this. I would like you to at least shake each other's hands. As neighbors, you need to live, in a good fashion and, be able to live peacefully among one another, Obviously, neither of you are bad people. You're both good-hearted people. I don't see why you can't at least get along, Can you please shake hands at least? Very good. I'm glad
thank you.
that you guys
for
left with
helping
some
us
sort of personal
today.
resolution.
Yeah, I feel a little bit relieved.
I'm glad. That's what I'm here for.
I gotta take my medication now.
Definitely.
How do I
All
do
good.
this? I'm falling asleep. That was good.